Hello, film fans. Welcome to All the Film Things. I'm your host, Elizabeth. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying this podcast, leave a review or a rating. Also, check out the All the Film Things Instagram for updates and more film things. Today, we are talking about the incredible Creed franchise, and I am joined by someone who has been such a champion of this podcast, from posting about this podcast to mentioning it on his Industry Shakedown magazine. I have been waiting for him to come on the show for a while now, so I'm so happy to introduce the Industry Shakedown podcast host, Shane Kid Walker.
Yo.
Finally. Thank you so much for joining me today, Shane.
Thank you for having me, Sister Vision. First of all, I want to thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Really good opportunity. We've been talking about this for months, you know what I'm saying? So
months.
And I'm just glad we're here doing it. You know what I'm talking about? First, before we start, I want to give a shout out to everybody in P1P. You know what I'm saying? It's 100. My roommates, KB and B's, my business partners, 100. You know what I'm saying? It's all shout out to all everybody. Shout out to Jamie, DC, all y'all, love y'all. Pearl, Kate, all of y'all, love y'all so much. Shout out to all the film things. Thank y'all for having me on.
Of course.
It's 100.
We will be talking about Industry Shakedown later in the episode. But first, I wanted to ask you, what got you into the Creed franchise? Were you originally a big fan of Rocky?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, it was one of the first films, the original Rocky film, one of the first films that actually put me on film.
Wow.
That kind of introduced me to the world of visual creativity. You see what I'm saying? And just Sylvester Stallone, man, just every time I think about the original Rocky film, I get nostalgia because that's me and my brother. Shout out to Bird, it's 100. That's one of our favorite films all time. You know what I mean? It's in my top 10.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And just the way it changed the game. It was one of those films, I can't say they had sports genre films early on, but it's one of the films that actually popularized it. You know what I mean? Especially in the world of professional boxing. You know what I'm saying? So without Rocky, without the original Rocky, you know, we may not have the sports drama genre at a peak right now. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Sylvester Stallone.
That's true. And yeah, Stallone really, he made it from the ground up with this film. You know, originally he said, I want to direct this. I wrote this. I want to play Rocky. And he was turned down. He got a lot of no's. And he managed to create this franchise off of, I mean, the first film was so successful, it won Best Picture at the Oscars. And look how it's continued to this day. People still talk about Rocky, and now we're still talking about Creed. It's an incredible franchise, and it just continues on, and it's still, how do I say it? It still holds up, basically.
Yeah, it had that Rocky, all of them really, you know what I'm saying? Even the worst Rocky, I believe, is Rocky 5.
Oh, we don't talk about Rocky 5.
Yeah. To me, it's still a good film, but I understand the criticism that it warranted. But man, again, it's just like, man, my favorite one of the Rockies would have to be Rocky 2. It's actually seeing him go over against, I guess the topic of today's discussion, Creed, Apollo Creed, Big Creed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's Super Fight 2. And seeing how the first fight between the two rivals went. If you didn't know anything about Rocky, about the film at all, you can kind of see that they were going to do a sequel. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't win. Damn. Mm-hmm. But hell, like, here's a second shot at it. You know, Super Fight 2. And of course, Rocky gets the knockout victory over Apollo, and the two share a moment of respect with each other. And that starts their friendship that lasts until Apollo's unfortunate demise.
Right. I mean, a lot of the heart of this franchise is built on companionship, friendship.
Right.
And what you were saying about how it was just destined to have a sequel.
Right.
Rocky came out 76, I believe. And then I think 79 was the second one.
Mm-hmm.
This was, ending New Hollywood in the new era of blockbusters, franchises. So it really came at a good time for the franchise. You know, the first film earned that Best Picture, a very tough prize to win. And it's already gotten franchise acclaim as well as the acclaim from critics and the film community.
Mm-hmm.
So did you see the first Creed in theaters when it first came out in 2015?
Actually, no, I didn't. I waited for it to come out on demand and streaming and stuff like that. And I'm gonna be real with you. When it first came out, I ain't gonna say skeptical about, the whole thing or anything like that. I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it a try. But I knew of Michael B. Jordan. I had seen Fruitvale Station. I had
Oh,
seen The
yeah.
Wire. So I was
Mm-hmm.
familiar with his work, but I had my doubts. I'm gonna just be completely honest with you. I was like, do we need a backstory
Mm.
for basically Apollo's son? The one of the kids that he fathered, you know what I mean, out of wedlock or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, whatever, cool. But then I watched it. You know what I'm saying? Then I watched it, and I gotta admit to you, it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen, man. Hands down, no
Wow.
hyperbole. So I want to, live on the air, if they ever hear it, I want to apologize for my skepticism. You know what I'm saying? I do apologize for the skepticism of not going to see Creed when it first came out.
I mean, it makes sense if you're so attached to the Rocky films, like so many people are of so many different generations.
Mm-hmm.
You're right to be skeptical. It's been decades since the first Rocky.
Right.
The last of the Rocky franchise was 2006, Rocky Balboa, which I think is an underrated of the Rocky franchise.
Very, yes.
But it makes sense to be skeptical, and it sounds like you're saying that it was one of the best films you've ever seen when you finally did see Creed. So, are you saying Creed is up there in your top 10 along with the first? No, this Rocky 2 is your favorite. Yeah. So, is it up there with Rocky 2?
Absolutely, it's up there with Rocky 2. If I'm being honest, I actually put Creed, the original Creed, behind Rocky 1, because Rocky 1 is my second favorite. So yeah, it's in my top 5 actually. It's so many movies with this dang on series, man. That it's kind of hard to rank them. You know what I'm saying? But if I had to do it in order of 5 from least to from worst to best, I say Creed 3 would be my number 5, or throughout the whole series, both Rocky and Creed would be my number 5. My number 4 will probably be Rocky 3, because I was always familiar, with the 18, but I wasn't as familiar with brother T.
You're right.
You see what I'm saying? So Rocky 3, even though Mr. T had been around for a long time, Rocky 3 was like my first real introduction to Mr. T outside of the 18 and outside of television. It was like my introduction to him into the mainstream. So your number 3, Creed, the original Creed, because Max Keller, and this is what puts it at number 3 for me. I don't know if you're familiar with Max Keller, but he's an actual sports announcer, and he did the post fight interview with Donnie, and he mentioned the word family. And this is kind of what puts it over for me, because I have a very, 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 how would you say, loose opinion on the word family. You know what I mean? And the way Max Keller explained it in the movie, it made sense to me personally. He said, speaking with Rocky, he said, Adonis Creed looked at you and called you family. You know what I'm saying? I have a friend, give a quick shout out to him. Shout out to Joan Savante up there in Detroit, Michigan. This person explained to me that family it's not strict the way people make it out to be. The term is not as strict. Family is who you choose. And Donnie obviously chose Rocky, and Rocky obviously chose Donnie. You know what I'm saying? It's the people you choose to love. And they chose to love each other,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they really are family, and he even, in the first film, calls him Uncle.
Right,
and Bianca was confused by that. But, yeah, they really are family. They've been connected. It's amazing how their connection, despite Apollo not being here, stayed so strong, and they were able to reconnect and have this bond that we saw in Creed 1 and 2.
Absolutely. And that's just outright amazing to me. But my second favorite would be, of course, the first one, the Best Picture winner. And number 2 is the best because we see Rocky triumph. Like, okay, this is the underdog. He is who a lot of people aspire to be. He is, you know what I'm saying, the people's champion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Rocky 2, to my humble opinion, my journalistic opinion, will always be top tier. I'm just saying.
That's a good ranking.
Thank you.
And I'm curious your ranking of each of the Creed films.
Oh man, that's simple. The first one, my opinion being the best. The second one, I want to get into that because I was just on the pool talking with Beezy about this not too long ago. Matter of fact, before we went live, I say the second Creed, a lot of people criticized it. And I get it, justifiably so. It could have been better, but
Creed 2?
Yeah, Creed 2, yeah.
Interesting. I've heard more criticism of Creed 3 than Creed 2.
I've heard a lot of criticism towards 2 instead of 3. My friends and I, like, we talk, we chat about this all the time, man. I say Creed 2 wasn't bad. None of us think the film was horrible. No, it wasn't our. To me, it was a working class of just art. Period.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people just like, did we need Drago to appear in this one?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but we all say that all 3 films are great. It's just that number 2 is not the strongest.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So from worst to best, it'll be Creed 2, Creed 3, Creed.
Wow.
Sorry for the unpopular opinion. I am so sorry, y'all.
No, I'm just shocked because when I saw Creed 2, I put it like neck and neck with Creed 1.
Right.
It was so tough for me to decide which one is better. Ultimately, the first one is my favorite by a little bit more than the second one. And then the third one is my least favorite. It's good, but I feel like the first 2 are just clearly better.
Yeah.
So, for Creed 2, what would you have wanted to see from Creed 2 if you didn't get Drago? Were you also critical of Drago being in the second one?
Absolutely not. No, here's the thing. Now, I don't know if I ever told you guys this at all the film things. Hell, I probably even say this shit on Insta Shakedown, but I'm really creative. I can see things happening in a certain order the way they're supposed to happen. Listen, I am not against the Dragos appearing in Creed. I was not against that. My thing was, I felt like the story was kind of told out of order. My opinion. This is me. Bees and I was just talking about this, and I have not. Listen, Liz, is one of those statements that could result in a catch-22. You familiar with those?
I've seen the film Catch-22, but I'm not familiar with the term.
Well, the phrase catch-22 basically means as an equal outcome for any action. You see what I'm saying? For example, Creed 3 is more so of Donnie's past coming back to haunt him. It's basically the chickens coming home to roost. You know what I'm saying? With him running off after the fighting incident with Dame, when Dame pulled the gun, and so on and so forth. But you know what happens with Donnie? Donnie goes on to up to absolute superstardom in boxing, and Dame is on the sideline behind bars watching this happen. You know what I'm saying? So you can understand the resentment there. I just wouldn't have made that Creed 3. I would have made that Creed 2. I would not have made that Creed 3. I say the first Creed is a perfect way to set up a story because we got the grizzled, I ain't gonna say old as I love Sylvester Stallone, but we got the grizzled veteran from boxer turned coach in Rocky. We got the prodigy in Donnie. This is a great start. Now, in the second one, me personally, I would have dug deeper into Donnie's past with this one. The question is, though, who the hell plays Dame? Because in 2018, 2019, we may have knew who Jonathan Majors was, but I don't think he was like there just yet. So the question kind of can become, well, who the hell plays Dame if it's not Jonathan Majors? But that's a small caveat. You know, I mean, there's plenty of actors obviously out there that can fit the role, but it's just Jonathan
Chadwick
Boseman.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting.
I know. Rest in peace, Chadwick.
R.I.P. to the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? That would have been a very interesting combination.
Yes, because Black Panther, they were excellent together.
Yes.
I wish they made more films together. And if he was the opponent in Creed 2, that would have been very interesting.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I just think they're out of order. That's just my only gripe with the series. I think they're just a little bit out of order. That's it.
But you mentioned that Damien feels like he was watching, like the quote that he says that goes to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
He says, try spending half your life in a cell watching somebody else live your life.
Yes.
So is there some truth to this? Do you think that Creed is living the life Damien should have had?
Absolutely. Watch the opening stanza of Creed 3. It goes into I love this transition. I gotta give it a shout out. I don't know if the opening song that you hear, the doom 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 doo doo doo, when it first opens up, that's the Watch by Dr. Dre from his 1999 album, The Chronic 2001. A lot of people don't know that. I thought that was a great choice to go with. And that song just also represents like what we had. Because I don't even know if you know this, but I'll be 30 years old in August. And The Chronic 2 or The Chronic 2001 by Dre is actually one of my all-time favorite albums, alongside his original The Chronic. So when I heard that, it just brought me back to childhood. I'm just riding my mama car. Everywhere that I go ain't the same as before. People, and I'm just in the theaters with Beezy, my brother, and my sister that's just vibing. You know what I'm saying? And then they get into the scene. We see Dame kicking some ass in the ring, yada, yada, and they cut. Donnie's running from a fight. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And Dame took that charge. Dame was the talented one. You know what I'm saying? And with all due respect to Michael B. Jordan and Donnie Creed, he was the bucket man. He was the side man. You know what I'm saying? While learning the trade of boxing. So, yes, I agree with Dame. It was hard. It's hard watching people live your life while you're behind bars.
Also, Creed was he was much younger at the time. I don't think he would have been allowed to fight at that point.
Right.
So if there was a few years later, then we would probably see an older Creed. And towards the end of Creed 3, Damien tells him, none of it's on you. And he kind of lifts him from this guilt that he's had.
Right.
And he also says, I guess you learned a few moves without me. So
yeah,
that's another line that speaks volumes. He's not completely, they're independent. They're not so reliant on each other in destiny or whatever.
Right.
So I definitely see what you mean. And I definitely see what Damien is saying when he says this. But also Bianca says, you've earned your life.
Right.
So it's a tough debate because, you know, there is that side, like, yeah, you can see why he says that, and you see that motivation behind him wanting to fight Creed and then go for a title. But there's also, they had such different paths in the same way.
Right.
But speaking of the Damien and Creed relationship, how would you describe the scene in the restaurant? Because they had just met by the car, which is also just a great scene.
Yeah.
But in the restaurant, they're just kind of trying to figure each other out. It's kind of almost like a chess game where there's a lot of tension and dwindling trust, since it has been about 2 decades since they last saw each other. So how would you describe that moment?
That's an excellent question. Well, I liken it to this. I look at it like, again, whenever I watch movies, I kind of put myself in the character's shoes, especially the main protagonist, and from time to time the main antagonist, because I want to understand both sides of the story.
Right.
But that scene in the restaurant, it was too surreal to me, because like they looking at each other and they talking to each other. It's like, I no longer know this person.
That's a good way to put it.
I no longer know this person. Like, I done changed so much. I done won the title. I beat my rivals. I handled Ricky Conlon. I took down Stuntman Wheeler. I took down Drago. I've done everything there is to do. I've grown. Mm-hmm. But here's this guy who had my back at some point, and I sense bitterness from him. And I understand his bitterness, but I'm here to tell him, I don't think you should be upset. I love you, and let's make this right. So to me, that explains the tension. Like, it's a hard reset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My mom told me one thing recently, because I was in New Orleans. I was staying at my brother's house, and she made a good point. She said, you lived with Bird as a child. You didn't live with Bird as an adult. And that hit home, because even though that's my little brother, you know what I'm saying, love him to death, know him in and out, I just haven't had that experience with him as adults. You know what I'm saying? And that's Donnie and Dame. They didn't have that experience with each other as adults.
Yeah.
You know, and the hurt and trauma is still there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that foundation, they kind of go back to this kind of, they'll have like a laugh here and there.
Yeah.
There's that foundation of that good relationship years ago. It's still there.
Mm-hmm.
I think bitterness is a great way to put it. And I wonder what kind of preparation went into creating this relationship on screen, because it was really fascinating just to watch them together, because it's a lot of back and forth and there's a lot of mystery. And I think that is captivating to the audience, because you don't know what's going to happen next, really, who's going to say what, and with the true intentions of Damien, which are revealed right after we see a shot of a photo.
Right.
That was, because you're waiting for this turn from him. You sense it. That bitterness, you already sense it in that scene. Mm-hmm. But when that photo is shown, and he staged that assault on Drago, it becomes really clear. And then they have that scene on the beach talking, and now it's really clear. Now he's really being honest now.
Right. And to me, at I understood him though. I understood Dame. Like, I seen Creed 3. I've seen all the Creeds multiple times, but Creed 3 in particular, like, and just for this episode, Liz, you're lucky I love you. As I put myself through the ringer these last 24 hours, you know what I'm saying? But I understand that I was not mad at Dame for nothing in this film because shit like that, man, you can't, especially when he's supposed to have your back. Now, don't get me wrong. I understood why Donnie ran off. He's a minor. He's a kid. He's scared.
Right.
I get that. You know what I'm saying? Shit, we all been there. You know what I'm saying? There's been times I've probably ran away from trouble. You know what I mean? But in Dame's defense, it's like you got famous from running away. You know what I mean? You got famous from running. And guess what? I'm here now. You can't run from me anymore. You actually have to face me. The only way to us to make all of this right is to fight it out. So I understood Dame. Matter of fact, I share a lot of similarities with Dame. And that's no kidding. You know what I'm saying?
So you didn't really see him as a villain, really?
I'm going to tell you what Brother Do-Right, shout out to him, Tyler Jefferson. I'm going to tell you what he told me after we watched it together. He said, Dame is the dark side of the underdog. Liz, when I tell you, that made so much shit so much more clear to me. Because whenever you see the underdog, you see the positive side. You see the fun. You see him overcoming the triumph.
Yeah.
But you never see the underdog who actually had it really, really hard. Dame was the first person you saw as the dark side of the underdog. That, like, the villain. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, not necessarily a villain, but a guy with a bone to pick.
Yes.
You know?
He came in with a chip on his shoulder, and that's why when he's fighting Felix in the sparring ring at the gym, he just went after him. He just attacked him. And then I think it's Duke that says, you cannot come in with a chip on your shoulder. But he did, and you could definitely see that in the main fight between him and Felix.
Right.
He's going after him, and Felix ends up going to the hospital.
Right.
Unresponsive.
Losing his championship. And
yeah.
And just, I want to touch on that scene just for a second. But that should tell you. And my uncle, shout out to Sean Rope out there in New Orleans. My uncle taught me about boxing growing up. All right. I've always been a boxing fan. I love me some Mike Tyson. I love Sugar Ray Leonard. I love Sugar Ray Robinson. Of course, the greatest of all time. Hands down, it ain't even up for discussion. The late, great Muhammad Ali. So I always knew about, the science. You know what I'm saying? And Dame's style is very, 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 very aggressive.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, and I'm speaking like this is real, but it's unfortunate that Felix ended up in the hospital, but you can tell, and this is you're going to hear me say this word maybe a couple more times on the podcast, you could tell, that's the first one. You could tell Felix was outclassed. And what I mean by that is, yeah, he may have been the world's champion. He may have been Donnie's handpicked boy, whatever, his promotion. But Dame was just that much of a better fighter. He was more technical. He was more methodic with how he fought. Because you could tell, if you were paying attention, he's attacking certain points of Felix's body. Yes, they were dirty hits, but they were effective nonetheless.
The elbow shot got him in trouble.
Yeah. But it got him the title.
He didn't get disqualified like Drago did in the second one, which is interesting.
Yeah, and I had questions about that originally. I was just like, wait a minute. Dame was fighting dirty, but Drago got called out for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I kind of thought that was a disconnect there. That was like one of my biggest, that was like a knock on that, but it wasn't that much. You know what I'm saying? So I paid attention to it, you know what I'm saying, but not too crazy of attention to it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. It kind of goes unnoticed. No one talks about that really, and maybe I just need to learn the rules better to boxing, but both were bad hits. You can't do that. And
yes,
Damian won the title shot, and Drago got disqualified. So I don't know if there's such a difference, but it looks like two bad shots.
Yeah.
And two different results. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say in Dame's defense as to why he stayed in the fight, again, it was him being methodical. You know what I'm saying? It's him knowing how to hit you and get away with it to make it look clean. You know what I'm saying? Because if you attack a boxer's joints, like their elbows or like stuff that could connect, like the shoulder and so on and so, yeah, those are considered illegal punches. But it's the way he was doing it that was just like, he can get away with it technically, but you should take points off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Drago, on the other hand, he was too pissed off. He was far aggressive. He was far more aggressive.
Drago's out for blood in that first fight.
Absolutely.
And Creed is concerned. His head isn't in the game as much as it should be.
Right. With Drago, and oddly enough, I don't think Donnie understood in Creed 2. Again, I might be wrong here, y'all. Please correct me if I am whenever y'all see fit. But I don't think Donnie understood the true magnitude of the Creed-Drago rivalry of the 80s. I don't think he got it.
Yeah.
I don't think he understood. Because had he knew that, I don't think that first fight go as the way it did. I think it's more competitive. It was a beatdown, honestly. It was a beatdown.
Yes.
And I think Donnie completely... Because, again, it's not his fight. It's an indirect fight.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But for the way he overcame it, this goes back to what I was saying as to why Creed 2 should have been Creed 3. Because, again, it's an indirect situation that affects Donnie. More so, it affects the fathers of both fighters, of the fighters Victor and Donnie, both Ivan and Apollo. You know what I'm saying? So Victor could have served as that. It's a word for it. It's a word for pinch. That alternative. That fill-in for his father, you see what I'm saying, in an alternate universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you mentioned this fight being a beatdown. Rocky didn't want him to take the fight.
Right.
What did you think about this? Did you
I agree.
kind of... Okay.
I agree because, again, Rocky's looking at it, again, I agree, but for maybe a completely different reason from Rocky. Rocky plain and simply didn't want Donnie to get hurt.
Yeah.
He still felt that guilt from not throwing in the towel at Rocky 4. You know what I'm saying? And he did not want to relive that. Rocky, if you hadn't noticed, Rocky lost everybody, man. Adrian's not here no more. Paulie's not here no more. Apollo's not. Rocky has no one but his restaurant and maybe his goldfish. You know what I mean? So
forgot about the goldfish.
So when Donnie came along, Rocky understood what it was, at the time at least. Rocky knew what it was like to lose. Not just fighting, but to lose people that you love. And that's worse than losing any freaking boxing match. You know what I mean?
Well, that's interesting you say he loses everything, because when we compare it to what the Drago family lost, it is two very different things. Because Drago says to Rocky in the restaurant, he lost everything from that fight.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel bad for the Dragos because of how much they lost?
Ironically, yes. In an ironic way. Do you mind if I explain that?
Go for it. Because
no matter what you do, I don't care what you do. You could steal $1 million from the bank. You can do what Drago did to Apollo, so on and so forth. This is just me. This is just the humanitarian in Shane.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that disqualify a person from a life of happiness. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Because like everyone is entitled to redeem themselves from their mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't upset that they lost everything. I just kind of felt like, damn, like you had your things too.
Yeah.
You know, you had your shit too. Like your wife left you. Your relationship with your son is, I don't even know how to describe it, is authoritarian at best.
Yeah.
You know, because he looks up to you and he just wants you to be proud of him. So I can't say that I feel bad for the Dragos. I probably should say this. I don't feel bad, but I don't think no one deserves a fate like that, no matter what they do.
Yeah.
Because if you watch Creed 2 and you see everything that Ivan went through post Rocky fight, you're just like, damn, you were that dude of your country to literally almost parallelly living a life like Rocky.
Yeah.
In Creed 2. You know, so they both lost everything. It's just like on the one hand, you feel for Rocky because Rocky has never done any wrong. You know, losing his wife, losing his brother-in-law, losing his best friend. Drago, on the other hand, you're like, is it warranted? But the humanitarian in you is like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I don't mean to diminish what Rocky's losses, because those are painful, and we
absolutely
can feel them because we've been following him for decades. We all know this character, and even like seeing him go through cancer, it's incredibly hard to watch because of how the audience has connected with this character for so long. So you called the relationship between Drago and his son authoritative, and we see Drago in a completely different light than we do in Rocky IV, because in Rocky IV, he is a machine.
Mm-hmm.
He is not human.
Mm-mm.
Yet, we see the more human side in Creed II. We get a scene where, they're at this big dinner table, they're living the high life at this moment.
Right.
And his mom, who left, comes back. And it's a conditional kind of love, because she's there when he's winning and he's, at this point of, getting a chance, and she leaves again when he starts losing in the last fight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very conditional, but Victor doesn't like that. He sees that, and he sees that it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think, of course he wants to win, but in the long run, he almost doesn't because of this fake kindness and conditional kindness shown to him?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna answer that this way, because I have people in my life that show me love through conditions. You know what I'm saying? With his mom coming and going the way she did, that's a hurt that I can't even describe, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't relate, because as much shit as I give my mom, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I love my mom. I know she'll never do anything to purposely leave me out there or anything like that, or do anything to purposely hurt me. You see what I'm saying? So I can't really relate to that, but I can say for Drago, and just going by his body language and going by the way he's talking, he barely knows her.
Yeah.
He barely know her, you know what I'm saying?
And he doesn't want to get to know her.
Right. And it goes back to what you said about the conditions, because if you place the conditions on my love, then why the fuck are you here? I'm sorry for swearing, but why the fuck are you here?
Mm-hmm.
Don't waste our time.
That's what he's thinking.
Right. Why are you here? I'm good now. You know what I'm saying? You left us. And he even tells Ivan, she left you, man. You doing this for her? She left you. She left us, Dad. What is it, But for Drago, it's just again, it's just Ivan wanted to recapture that magic of yesterday.
Yeah, he did. That's perfectly said, yeah.
He wanted to recapture that, and by putting down Donnie in the first fight, he did that. I would give him that. He did that. You see what I'm saying? So he recaptured it in just that moment. But the second fight cost him everything again. But it taught him to be a dad. He's your son.
Mm-hmm.
He's not this machine of war that you were. It's like you said, the man was a robot. He was a beast. An emotionless beast.
He could not be broken.
Right. Could not be broken, man. In that fourth Rocky installment. But it's like you said, we see the human side of him now. We see the elder statesman side of him now. We see the side that wants a shot with his son, but he's so drunk.
All right.
You're back?
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, that was my friend down in Humble, Texas. She was calling me because I told her I was doing this episode. She wanted to wish me luck. I was like, I'm live.
Well, that's very nice of her.
I appreciate it. Shout out to Dominique, man, out there in Humble. Appreciate the love. But I'm sorry, what were we?
Well, you were talking about Drago and his son's relationship, Ivan and Victor. You said something about their relationship and how human we see them portrayed in Creed III. And at the end of their fight, they're back and forth. Donnie and Victor, they're back and forth. And both Rocky and Drago want to end this fight, but Drago is about to throw in the towel.
Mm-hmm.
And, his ex-wife and Victor's mom had just left. And he throws in that towel. And they have a moment after the match, after Creed is declared the winner, and he says, "It's okay." So it's really interesting how we see this human side to the Dragos, and how in Creed 3, Victor has such a good relationship with Creed that they'll call each other up. They're cool. There's no bad blood. It doesn't linger. They seem to get along and respect each other.
Yeah, and you want to know something? Their relationship remind me. And it's funny I even say this because that double punch in Creed 3, they ripped that double punch in the fight right from this manga. But this Donnie and Drago, they both remind me of Goku and Vegeta. They remind me of like people who didn't understand each other, like each other at first. They fight it out and they realize we have a common goal. We have a lot in common. You see what I'm saying? Our father's sins, our father's past, it's not our present nor is our future.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another reason why I say Creed 2 is just like that. It's that vanguard of change. It's where we see people start to evolve a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Again, I still think it's out of order, but I'm a hammer that home. But I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like Drago was like, "It's all right. It's okay. Your mom's gone. She left again. She thought she can come back. See you win this, or so on and so forth. Yada yada yada." And it didn't turn out that way, But you see at the end that Ivan and Victor, they're having a moment. They're jogging together. They're working out. They're doing something together that they both love as father and son, not just coach and player.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not Sean Payton, Drew Brees. Nah, father and son, Shane and Henry. Type shit.
Yeah, I liked how you describe how different the dynamic changed, and we see a similar moment in the beginning, but it's different. It has a different feel. It's colder.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad, they're back to this mundane life
mm-hmm.
that they had in the beginning because Ivan lost how many years ago? And we now see them back to this. But luckily, Drago has a better relationship with Creed than Rocky and Ivan did. So
right.
They, Creed 3 is setting up a fight for him. He's going to get paid like Felix is. That's his goal. But you mentioned the fighting style in Creed 3. You mentioned manga. I don't know much about it.
It's okay.
I know that Michael B. Jordan is such a fan of anime, manga, and he really drew inspiration from that in the camera work and the editing of the big fight in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So which style do you think captured the boxing matches in the best way? What happens in Creed with, not too many cuts, if any? In Creed 2, there's some cuts, it's not too crazy. And in Creed 3, it's similar to the number of cuts with the added anime-inspired camera work and edits, stylized, close-up, impactful, slow-mo, experimental at times. So which way do you prefer the fights to be portrayed on film?
Liz, I love these questions. I really do, because I swear to God.
Thank you.
And I was just telling the boys, I was like, nah, she didn't send them to me. I told her I didn't want them because I just wanted to get on the show and just go. But I promise you, it was just like, I already talked to you because me and Beezy just had this damn conversation. Excuse me.
Oh, no, you laughed a little too hard on that.
I'm laughing so hard, I'm coughing. 1 second. Jesus Christ. But I would say the fight with Dane is so S tier, man. In terms of visuals, man, it went hard. Oh my God. I think Jordan directed this movie, didn't he? Michael B. Jordan?
He did. His directorial debut.
Man, when I tell you that fight scene was freaking awesome. You mentioned about the cuts. Now, I don't mind cuts in between rounds of my boxing movies. I don't. However, if you do it that way, this is just me, you kind of got to get enough to kind of explain the stuff, to tell the story, which Rocky does, which Rocky and the other two Creeds do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that with the added visuals, with the added anime-inspired backdrop, all of the, I just think the Donnie Dane fight was the best. I'm sorry, it hands down, because you see, not only are you seeing them fight each other, you're seeing things that they held on to for all these fucking years. Like Dame's this urge to be better than Donnie, and Donnie with this urge to be over his past. You see it play out in real time. The other ones do that, but they don't do it this way. You know what I'm saying? Every punch, every move, every sway, every added backdrop, every added prop that you see popping up in each corner when they're attacking each other just adds so much more. It does. Mm-hmm. And man, the anime inspired that double punch. Oh man, just I want to give Michael B. Jordan a hug for that. I'm sorry, that was just genius.
Yeah, he really changed it up for this, and that experimental moment, where the crowd disappears and, Damien punches Creed and he's sent back kind of flying, but he hits bars instead of the ropes.
Right.
That was very German expressionism. That was so cool. And it was cool to see it's portrayed so differently than boxing matches tend to be portrayed in film. And, there's a lot of similarities normally between Creed 3 and Creed 2's camera work and editing with the number of cuts.
Right.
I really admire what Ryan Coogler did in the first one with really not many cuts at all, and you kind of just handheld back and forth. That must have taken a lot of blocking and choreographed movements, and yeah, I was really impressed by that. But I know what you're saying, how you appreciate the big fight scene in Creed 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and not to take nothing away from any of the Rocky films, again, like, all the fight scenes are great. It's just that, just those added elements of just everything through Michael B. Jordan's Creed 3 was just astounding. It was an extra wrinkle to something that we had already seen before. It was that plus an extra mile, if that make any sense. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was vibing with that word.
You also mentioned how the characters have evolved over the films.
Yes.
How would you say Creed has evolved from Creed 1 to Creed 3?
Oh, good question. Damn good question. If you go back from Creeds 1 to 3 and just start from how he was just so confused on life. Like, man, I'm working a day job. I'm at an office. It's a nice paying job nonetheless. But I'm running to Mexico doing something that I'm good at, Mm-hmm. I'm making X amount of dollars, you know what I'm saying, as a boxing as a side hustle, working as my primary source of income. You know what I'm saying? So you see Donnie in Creed 1 not knowing what the freak to do. Mm-hmm. And in that you find out he's the son of an icon.
Yeah.
So that's more on him, Mm-hmm. I'm not happy in my situation. My dad is a boxing legend. You know what I'm saying? So anything I do, people are going to either A, assume that I didn't earn it, or B, hold me to a standard that's just impossible. But
right.
The way he stood up to that Colin fight by the end kind of showed me like, okay, he kind of knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Creed 2, again, it was in the wrong order, but Creed 2 kind of shows us him like enjoying the fruits of his success a little bit before the indirect pass comes back to haunt, before that chicken come home to roost. Because I think in the second one, in the beginning stanza, he takes out Danny Wheeler. He takes out stuntman Danny Wheeler and gets his damn Mustang back, which I thought that was funny. But you see him at the height of his popularity. You know what I mean? Like, you see him kind of like understand who he is. He's a Creed. He's a fighter. He's this. But he's asking why. Well, he kind of eagerly took the fight. Rocky was more so like, I don't think you should. Mm-hmm. Creed took the fight, I guess, to be like, and I might be wrong here, but I guess to be like, I guess people expect me to do it because of what happened. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So he took that fight. So I think he in this one he's taking on, in the second one he's taking on responsibilities that may or may not be his. It's a responsibility in name alone.
Right.
Now the third one we see the businessman, Donnie. Like, because if you pay attention, he steps out he retires at first before Dame returns. He retires.
Yeah.
And he focuses on promoting and being a fight promoter. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where the money at in promotion. You know what I'm saying? So you see him going from not quite understanding who the hell he is to him becoming like one of boxing's biggest moguls.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, the early beginning of that.
Yeah. So like, I got it now. I done put the demons of my father of my father's past to rest. You know? Only thing I can do from here is go up. You know what I mean? And yeah. So that's what I saw in him. I just saw a person who just didn't get it at first, who didn't understand it. Now he gets it. Let's make some money off this. Simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it kind of goes to that point as well, is that he's getting better at opening up. You know, in Creed 3, we really see his mom and Bianca say, you know, you need to find a new outlet. You need to not be so angry like Apollo was, his dad was. And the women in his life keep him humble. We kind of see that mostly in Creed 3, but in Creed 2, you know, when he's proposing to Bianca, he says, I want you there for my moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's, you know, he's always been a good person. He's always had a good heart, but he's, you know, he's just opening up a little bit more. He's a nice guy. He's a good guy. He always wants to help people. We see that with Damien. We see that with Felix as a promoter. And I think in Creed 3, now that he has a daughter and he's now married, which Bianca and Creed must have gotten married between Creed 2 and Creed 3. We don't see a wedding, but they're referred to as married in the third one. But he's already a good person, but he's becoming a better person, an even better person, more empathetic, I'd say, and more open.
Right.
Which was not always easy for him. You know, he would fight. And one of the parallels from Creed 1 to Creed 3 is the first scene of Creed, he just fights a lot.
Right.
Creed 3, Bianca and Creed are signing with a teacher that Amara is great, but she just fights. So he's opening up, but he's also, I haven't gotten the right words to say it, but he's this work in progress. And
yeah,
he's trying, and he has these moments where he goes back and forth, you know, like in Creed 2 about his intentions going into the first fight with Drago.
Yes.
But he always comes out the other side. So it takes a little bit, but he's a work in progress. He's going to get there, and he's a good guy at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. I like the term, he's a work in progress.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, that's a damn good one, you know, and it's true. He is a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like the fact that he has it somewhat. I ain't gonna say completely understood,
Mm-hmm.
but he has this somewhat understood. He has this somewhat figured out. He's a human being at the end of the day. You know what I mean? He's just like you and I. Like, we could do all this podcasting, we could do all this film stuff, so on and so forth, but do we have it figured out? Do we have it figured out? Donnie does. You know what I'm saying? So, peace to him.
Yeah. And how do you think Bianca has evolved from the first Creed to the most recent Creed, Creed 3?
Oh man, she's become his rock. Shout out to Tessa Thompson in that role, man.
She is so good.
She is so good.
She's one of my favorites of this generation.
Yes.
Their chemistry is just unbelievable.
You would think they're actually together.
You would think.
You would think they're an actual couple.
They have that chemistry, and they have this companionship that it seems like it would work. They're just so good together on screen. It was perfect casting, the two of them, and
yeah,
gosh, yeah, they're brilliant. But yeah, how would you? I've kind of divided her under career arc and hearing arc. But what do you think? How do you see Bianca evolve through Creed 1 to Creed 3?
Kind of the same way I seen Donnie evolve. This may be a little bit more different because when Donnie goes to Philly from LA, she's already kind of established. You know what I'm saying? She's already performing. She's doing her music, so on and so forth. So she's already kind of getting. No matter of fact, I think Donnie actually fights her headliner at some point. But
yeah, Creed 1.
Yeah, in the first one, he like sucker punches the guy. I thought it was funny
because he called him Baby Creed. He does not like that.
Don't call him Baby Creed.
Do not call him Baby Creed.
Don't do that. Please don't do that. Do not call Donnie Baby Creed. You don't like that.
Should be like a bumper sticker on his car.
Yeah, that'll be. You know what? I'm gonna get one made. I'm gonna get one made. I'm gonna put it on the back of my director's shirt. Do not call Donnie Baby Creed. No, but she was already doing shows. She was already doing music, so she was kind of already, in my opinion at least, she was already established. Now came the second and third one. You kind of see her take on the role of mom and wife and moral support. And I love how she just don't take Donnie's shit. She hold him accountable. And you know what? That's a strong woman right there. That is a strong woman right there. You know what I'm saying? Not being able to take your man's shit, but also love him enough to hold him accountable, but not be mean about it. She's not mean at all.
No.
They may have had an argument here and there, but it wasn't a mean argument. It was more on the lines of like, my dude, who the hell are you? I want to know who the hell you are in my house.
Right.
I want to understand you in my house. You know, and I think she's more than patient. Matter of fact, this is just my opinion. I think she's far too patient. You know what I'm saying? With Donnie and some of his antics. To be completely frank and honest with you, she's completely patient with him. You know, most women, and I'm not bashing it when I say this, but most people, they would have been up and fucking left. I know I would have. You know, but she loves him and she loves what they build together. You see what I'm saying? And watching, and I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here, and I do apologize, but watching her at Donnie's side when Marion died in the third one, man, and just watching her just still try to be there and figure it out with him after all of that was, I applaud it. I applaud it big time.
Yeah, Marianne became a mother to her, and we get a little tidbit of Bianca's life, you know, where she says she hasn't had a parent like that in a long time.
Right.
We don't know her backstory as well as we do with Creed.
No.
But we learn a lot from that and how emotional she was when she did pass and then at the funeral. That's her mother too. Also, they created such a bond. And I love how we see that seed of that bond planted in Creed 2 where, you know, Creed, he goes against everyone for taking the Drago fight, the first one. And we see Bianca confide in Marianne, who's been through it. Their bond early on is established in that and relating to their partner being a fighter. But I don't think that scene felt as emotional the first time as it did the second time.
Right.
And that's one of the toughest moments of the franchise, and it's definitely the toughest moment of Creed 3. But it also felt like, I mean, this was going to be one of my big questions to you. I guess I can place it here. Should Rocky have been in Creed 3?
Oh, okay. All right. Can I be honest? Because I have two answers for that.
Okay.
Okay. On the one hand, as an OG fan, and this is an opinion. This is a subjective opinion. Absolutely, Rocky should have been the third. He should have been the third Creed. Absolutely.
Yes, he should have.
Absolutely. I understand a lot because again, me and my friends, we do this. You know what I'm saying? And some of them detracted on that, and I understand it. I get it because Rocky. If let's just play with metaphors and hyperbole just for a second. You know what I'm saying? Rocky served as Donnie's training wheels. It literally his training wheels. You know what I'm saying? So I will understand why, like somebody like Tyler or Beasley would be like, yeah, I didn't think Rocky needed to be in it. I get that. But I think he could have been, even if he wasn't there long, maybe 20 minutes, if he wasn't there long, it still would have made the movie feel full to me. It was a great film, don't get me wrong, but just missing Rocky's presence in a series that technically he started with Rocky, it kind of didn't. It had the stank on it, but it wasn't funky enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
I hope that made sense to you just now.
It does make sense. You know, he did produce it, and his last, well, not his last moment in Creed 2. His last moment with Creed in Creed 2 was saying, "It's your time now. It's your time."
Yeah.
He says, "It's your time." So I didn't feel like that was an ending for Rocky. I know there's been some trouble behind the scenes with Stallone and one of the producers.
Yeah.
And he did not want to be a part of Creed 3, but he was open for Creed 4, it seemed. But
yeah,
in the moment where Marianne dies, you really feel his lack of presence. And
Yeah.
We will really only see a poster of Rocky in the background of the gym. Creed mentions him in passing as if he's a fan, like kind of as any fan would. Rocky and Apollo had this fight, years ago, but we have this disconnect now, and it was a little too fast. And if there's a Creed 4, I really hope he's back.
Yeah, I do too. And you want to know something? I'm gonna add on to what you just said. When Marion died, and he just kind of gave me a new perspective on it, so I want to thank you for that. When Marion died, we kind of did need Rocky.
Yeah.
Because it was Rocky, Apollo's gone, Marion's gone. We don't even know where the hell Apollo's other two children are. Just keep in mind, Apollo had two other kids.
Yes, which is briefly mentioned.
Yeah.
That's always been a wonder, in these films. We don't ever see them. We don't hear about them except for this one line in Creed 3. It says everything about them, that they weren't around for her.
Right. And I think it's a deleted scene in Rocky 2. I have to go back and check it. But there are kids running around there, Apollo, they're his children. Maybe that was in the main scene. But you don't know nothing else about them. You know what I mean? So I said that to make a point. I said that to say this. Rocky was that father to Donnie.
Yes.
And Apollo's, and well, I won't even call it absence. Apollo's gone after Apollo passes. You see what I'm saying? And later on in life, So when Miriam dies, and Rocky's not there, that's a void. In my mind, that created a void.
Right.
It created a void. So, and yeah, you're right. They did mention it in passing a couple times, so on and so forth. And again, it just, in my opinion, this is why I understand why you say Creed 3 was okay, because it did lack a lot of elements that made Creed special.
Yes.
It did. I will admit that. My opinion, though, it was still a great film, but it did lack a lot of things that just bring it home. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So, when Marion died, that was just like, yo, damn, did they have to go that route? I said, okay, well, she was up there in age. Well, it's 100. Well, with Felicia Rashad, one of the greatest actresses ever, love her to death. But yeah, we definitely needed Rocky after Marion passed away. Definitely.
There's a lot of parallels between, Rocky 1, Creed 1, Rocky 2, Creed 2.
Right.
And this is a major parallel in Rocky 3 and Creed 3 is the passing of a parental figure.
Yeah.
So, Mickey dies in Rocky 3.
We lost Mickey in Rocky 3, right.
And that was a parental figure to Rocky.
Yeah.
And now, Creed's stepmother, kind of, really his mother, has passed. So, two massive losses, and that's a big connector between Rocky 3 and Creed 3. So we did talk a little bit about Bianca and the chemistry between Creed and Bianca.
Yeah.
One of the most heartbreaking moments was in Creed 2 with that hearing test.
Yeah.
And, silence is used really brilliantly in Creed 2. There's silence in the beginning of Creed 2 for a little while, and there's silence in this moment, but, there's a little talking between the Doctor and Creed, but it's mostly silent, especially on Bianca's side. Creed just shakes his head at her to signal, that their newborn daughter is also, she's without hearing. So, that was just a really tough moment. You were talking about earlier how much Rocky means to you, how much this franchise means to you, both Creed and Rocky. And one of the reasons that Rocky and now Creed has resonated with so many people is the resonant lines that apply to boxing and also in life. Is there a line from Creed or even Rocky that sticks with you?
Oh man. Shoot, I can't even think one off the bat, to be honest, which is a certain line. I would like to say one that stood out to me the most is because no one believed in him, is when Lil Duke told Donnie that I'm not gonna train you and no one's gonna train you. I'll be sure of that. I'm gonna tell you why that stood out to me even in the slightest, is because again, I've been through that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you want this opportunity? Psych, you ain't finna get this shit. I'm gonna make sure nobody give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's everyday life. You know what I mean? And that goes back to the word to the word detractors. You see what I'm saying? You got to make your detractors your believers. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of what he did. You see what I'm saying? That's kind of been me my entire life. Like, everybody that told me, hey man, you can't do that, man. That's too hard, bro. Won't you do this? Shane, hey man, I think you should do this, or so on and so. Hell no, I want to do what I want to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, no, like, listen, I understand the concern. I understand, because keep in mind, this is Lil Duke. This is Apollo's trainer. This is his son. This is Lil Duke. This is Big Duke's son.
Yeah.
So I get where he's coming from. He's trying to protect him.
Mm-hmm.
But how are you protecting him from something that you don't even know it could be fatal to him?
Mm-hmm.
You know? You see what I'm saying? How will you? I get you. He lost his dad. That's just the meat of this potato. That's the whole freaking arc of Creed.
Mm-hmm.
He lost his dad. He's trying to figure out who the hell he is on his own. But he's stuck by his last name. Okay? So for a person who's familiar with your family to be like, yeah, I'm not going to do that, it's kind of sucked to me. As I had it done to me before. I'm like, yo, that sucked, bro. Like, you could help me, bro. You could put me on, bro. You're not, because you're afraid. What does that say about you? You know what I mean? I'm not afraid. I want to do this. You know? I want to take this leap of faith. Who were you to decide that for me? That stood out to me on the level of like, damn, that was me through college.
And this happened in Creed 2, right? This sounds like when Creed was kind of going against what everyone is saying to...
This was the first one.
Oh, this is the first one? Okay.
Yeah. When he first got to I think it was I don't think it was Delphi. Well, Delphi is the name of Apollo's gym.
Mm-hmm.
This is when he first got to Delphi. He was there, and he had got knocked out by stuntman Will, and he took his car.
Right.
Yeah.
Of the 3 Creed films, which film had the best soundtrack?
Oh, Creed 3.
No.
Creed 3.
No.
I'm a hip hop head. Like, you gotta understand. Like, when the opening salvo was Dr. Dre's The Watcher, but if you go to the end of the movie, it's bookended by a sample from J. Cole called Donnie something. It's something with Donnie's name in it. It's the same beat, the same tone, the way the movie started and how it ends, and it's I think it's called Donnie's Interlude. Something like that. I even had it on Apple Music when I had Apple Music. But I just think that soundtrack was just mwah. But if you want me to be, I would say out of the 3, that to me that's the best one. But objectively speaking, probably the first one.
Creed 1 had a lot of great music moments.
Yeah.
I mean, The Fire, John Legend and The Roots.
Yeah, The Roots.
That was a great transition point in the film, and Tessa Thompson has an excellent voice with Shed You, and I Will Go to War is the second one, but Creed 2 has a good soundtrack, but I don't know, Creed 1 to me, like, there were several I used to listen to a lot that were just, so good.
I think the first one was more, I mean, it had hip hop, it had Meek Mill, it had everybody on there, but it was more, how can I say, it was more pop based. The third one is more like hip hop, it's rap, because like, it's I guess because it matches the tone, the gritty tone of Dame's storyline. So that makes sense to me. Now that I think about it. Again, I may be wrong, but you know.
No, that sounds right. That sounds like that was intentionally done, maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, objectively speaking, the first one, because of how smooth it is, but me being Shane, I got to be subjective from time to time. Give me the third one.
Okay. Do you have a favorite training montage?
I think they were in the desert on the second one.
Yeah.
Before he fought Drago. That one, I think they were in Mexico too. Man, that was shot so brilliantly, because you see Donnie during that, you see how exhausted he is and just how over the BS he is. And just his look. Again, I love saying this, that grizzled vet look, like that statesman look. While he's training, while he's trying to figure it out, going into this fight against Drago. And shit like that. I was just like, okay. He had the little scruffy beard going. Grassroots training, like how we used to do back in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? I used to know a few people that boxed. You know what I mean? And the things that he was doing in that training montage, they were doing. You know, it's in the streets. It's in the gym. It's at your house. It's everywhere you can. Anywhere you can develop your skill at boxing. That was that to me. It embodied all of that.
I agree. The Creed 2 montage was brilliant because, he has to relearn everything he knew.
Yes.
And it's a clear parallel between Rocky 4, when Rocky goes to
Yeah.
the Soviet Union to train.
That's my favorite Rocky one too. Glad you said that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's one of my favorite Rocky montages as well.
Really?
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was different, but it stayed true to Rocky and what he had to do. Everyone, his trainers had gone. Apollo had passed. He was going to kind of not avenge in the term of like he's going to kill Drago, but, almost avenge in the ring his passing in a way to not let Drago win.
Right.
But I don't know if I'd call this a training montage. It's part of the training. But that scene in Creed 1 with the motorcycles as he's running to Rocky is so cinematic, and the way the camera arcs around him and the song, I think it's Lord Knows.
By Meek Mill. Mm-hmm.
That is so brilliant. That is one of my favorite moments in Creed 1.
I like that scene too because like it showed that Donnie had finally gotten comfortable in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
He out there with the dirt bike roughnecks, you know what I'm saying? Like he kicking it with Bianca, he's training with Rocky. Like that, just them riding with him as he's running to Rocky's house kind of told me like, yeah. He didn't figure out at least the first part.
Yes.
He got the first part kind of down pat. Good.
And how about your favorite walkout moment?
Walkout moment?
Yeah, like going into the ring, one of mine is Conlan's entrance, and the first one with "Don't Waste My Time" playing, and my other favorite is Creed's entrance into the big Drago fight, and Bianca is performing "I Will Go to War."
I think the Bianca one is the best ring walk.
Yeah,
ring entrance. Because again, it's very reminiscent of real life. It's like when Lil Wayne always sing out or rap out Floyd Mayweather to the ring, because that's happened before. If you know anything about that. Floyd Mayweather is huge on entourages. I mean, he'll have Triple H and Justin Bieber and Lil Wayne and whoever else is like a good friend of his. You know what I'm saying? But Bianca singing Donnie to the ring is literally that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it showed to me that this is a power couple that we're dealing with.
Absolutely.
This is a power couple that we're dealing with. He's the strength. You know what I'm saying? He's the hands. He's the strength. She's the sultry, cool, laid back homegirl that loves her man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like that. And it just like, that was to me for their relationship. That was like the peak of their relationship. It was like the ball on top. Cause like that told me like, my boy, I'm gonna have your back. I'm gonna have your back. I'm gonna sit here. You do you. I got your back. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
That's what they told me.
I would love if she just did that for all of his matches, honestly. Like it's such a great combination.
Mm-hmm.
It's a brilliant moment for both of them and for their relationship. Just as you said, she has his back.
Yeah.
She's right there. She's going to introduce him as he walks out and has this big fight.
Yeah.
Do you think there will be a Creed 4?
I don't see it.
Huh?
I don't see it.
Wow.
I don't see it. Again, I mean, it wouldn't surprise. I heard there was supposed to be another one, but honestly, I don't see it, man. If they do, I won't be against it. Of course, it's Michael B. Jordan. Whatever he does, I support. He's one of my favorite actors. But I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I don't know. It's kind of tough for me to answer. I'm gonna just leave it with I don't see it.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder what that would look like because, going into the final fight in Creed 3, he's being told he's old and broken at that point. So it's kind of foreshadowing, he really is towards the end of this, time. That clock is running out on him. That's the big race, with even in Rocky, race against time. Time beat Apollo, even though he probably could have beat Rocky in their fights. And Rocky says this in Creed 1 when he first meets Creed. So it's kind of foreshadowing, maybe we won't get a Creed 4, but I hope so, because I would love to see Stallone back and their bond and what they would do. But yeah, I don't know. Creed 3 didn't get too bad reviews. So if they want to do a fourth, I think there wouldn't be as much pushback.
Nah, it won't be as much. I don't think so either, because I think the average score on Rotten Tomatoes between them is like an 88. So if they do a Creed 4, it won't surprise me. It won't surprise me. Not even a little bit. It won't surprise me. However, where could they go with this? You know, besides training his daughter, where can they go? Because like, how can you expand on the story on a guy who we kind of already figured out, and he kind of already conquered the demons of his past? You know, like, I would like to see him actually go into a fight and lose if it comes down to it.
That'd be an interesting.
That'd be a very interesting wrinkle, like
part of the history of Rocky and Creed.
Yeah, like kind of put over, and you're gonna hear me say the words "put over" a lot, especially on the shakedown, because what that means is it means to help somebody. It's to let somebody go over in victory on you. It's a wrestling term. But I would like to see him put over somebody younger than him, you know, kind of set up the next generation, you know, that has nothing to do with Rocky or Creed, like somebody that could kind of start their own story if we're going to go that route. And that way we can keep it going, you know, kind of make Donnie the antagonist, kind of do something different, make him the antagonist.
That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, if it's done well, that could be really cool. That could be really good.
Yeah. We can write it.
You could pitch it to Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
See what happens. I mean, that's what Ryan Coogler did with Creed 1. You know, he had this idea to kind of bring back Rocky and Creed to continue the story, and look what it's become. It's become a whole other successful franchise.
Yeah, it's his own thing. That's right.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Shane. Again, I am so happy to have finally had you on, and I'm so appreciative of your support with this podcast. You continuously support all the film things, and I thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
For those who don't know what Industry Shakedown is yet, please let them know what you cover, because it's truly a brilliant podcast, and I'd say with all that you're planning, soon to be empires.
Absolutely, man. We're going into, we have two different continuities over on Industry Shakedown. The first being the original radio show at the Alcorn State University, WPR 91.7 FM. Shout out to Brother Do Right. Shout out to Larry K. Sanders, 100 with y'all. We did that my second semester junior year college, man, and I graduated the next year from Alcorn. Shout out to Alcorn, it's 100. And I remember telling Brother Do Right in the car, I was going to get my hair cut. I said it on camera. I said, man, I'm gonna find a way to bring back Industry Shakedown. And Tyler looked at me, he said, how? I said, man, I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out. 2 years later, we run on Relevant, man, and the rest is history. We're doing our last season. Shout out to PSF, shout out to Relevant, man. It's been real. It's 100 with all y'all. Shout out to Hillary. Shout out to Wilder. Shout out to all of them. You know what I'm saying? Much love, so on and so forth. But when he switched over from Relevant to Pro Sports Fanatics or fans, whatever it is, it kind of took away the promotion from us because, you know, we was hot. You heard me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all good, man. But to answer your question, man, Industry Shakedown, we do things pop culture, man. We sit down and talk. It's three bros. Shane, BZ, KB, you know what I'm saying? It's just us kicking it and vibing, smoking a little weed, drinking our drink, you know, just being media's favorite hooligans, you know what I'm talking about?
Did I coin that, by the way?
You did. You did. You sure did.
That's honestly perfect for you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate that. I've been running with it ever since.
Good. As you should. It should be the tagline.
Absolutely. We set to return in the next 9 days. I was telling you on Instagram that we just made a 17 episode slate. That's going to take us from the spring all the way until the summer. That'll give us more time to expand into both Spotify and Apple Podcasts and so on and so forth. But Liz, I want to thank you. I'm a huge fan of you guys. I love y'all work. And of course, man, y'all my friends. Shane is the most supportive person in the world. If you don't know, you should know. I am very, very, very supportive.
He is. I can attest to that. He's very supportive of also our friend Christina's podcast as well, Red Room Radio.
I'm very supportive. If you my friend, man, I'm going to hype you up. I'm going to make sure you good. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to share whatever you got. I'm going to share it. It ain't no problem. I don't even charge. You know what I'm saying? Because I do believe in sharing the wealth. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of folks. I know a lot of folks know a lot of other folks. Let's build this together. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Yeah. Is there anything you can tell the people about what's in the works in the coming months for Industry Shakedown? I know you just mentioned the transition to Spotify and Apple.
Absolutely.
But there's also the magazine. There's also the Instagram. So what else is in the works?
Yeah, matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned the magazine. We're getting ready to wrap up production on our anniversary edition, man. Shout outs, and Liz, you made the cover of that. Your name made the cover. If you don't know, you should know.
Oh my gosh.
Christina, shout out to everybody at Red Room Radio. That poster, her team made that.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was in New Orleans. And I was sitting at my brother's computer, and I said, man, I want to do something with this shit right here. And I say, wait a minute, April 22nd is coming up, because that's when we officially came back in podcast form. I said, well, you know what? Let's do an anniversary edition. And I could actually write a Trail Mag article about how we reached the end of the end of beginning, like the song say. So yeah, this Friday, a 15-page anniversary edition is coming out. Industry Shakedown. We're going to release the April edition of Industry Shakedown magazine on May 2nd. We got a lot coming up with that, man. We actually getting ready to start filming. We're going to get back to filming our own original television series within the next month or two. Adulting. And yeah, man, this fall, really, we transitioned into YouTube, Apple Music, and Spotify with Industry Shakedown, man. You see what I'm saying? Follow your boy at I am still SKW. You know what I'm saying? My boy over there, Beezy, his Instagram is Beezy, and KB's is KB.0611. You know what I'm saying? And follow us at Industry Shakedown Inc. on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody. Much love.
Yeah, everyone follow the Industry Shakedown Instagram, as well as the rest of the Industry Shakedown guys on Instagram. And check out their Patreon so you can get access to their monthly magazine and extra content.
Yeah, pay $2.99, baby, $2.99. You know what I'm saying? Starts at $2.99, but the more you pay, the more you get. You know what I'm talking about? That's how we do business out here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And is there a film recommendation, a line from a film, really anything you would like to conclude our episode with today?
Man, I would give my usual recommendation, The Godfather, but I guess I'm Godfathering the people to death. But I would say I'm into hood cinema. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't seen ATL yet, go 2006. Going on and watch it. It stars my boy T.I. and Diana Ross. It's Evan Ross. I also kind of recommend My Name is Dolomite, starring Eddie Murphy. Came out just 4 years ago. I've watched that movie 100 times. I learned something new every time.
Oh yeah, he got an Oscar nomination.
He sure did, and I think he won a Globe for it too. I have to go back and fact check. I think he won a Globe for it.
I think so. I know he did win one of the honorary awards, one of the big Cecil B. DeMille type awards. Maybe it was that one, but I think he did win Golden Globe for Dolomite Is My Name as well.
Yes. Oh, and also another movie that we're going to be reviewing is coming out this year, July. I think Beats hit July 26th. Y'all go see that new Deadpool, man. Getting ready to drop, dog. Go see that, John.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be very funny.
It's gonna be good, man. Hugh Jackman and my boy, my man, my mellow, Mr. Ryan Reynolds on the same screen for the first time in over 14 years. I can't wait.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Thank you again for joining me today, Shane.
Thanks for having me. Absolutely.
And thank you all for listening. And Shane, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful episode.
Hey. This is the beginning of a beautiful episode, really good friendship. Thank you so very much. Shout out to all the film things. It's 100. I'm your man, SKW. You mind if I do my sign out on your show?
Go for it.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. I got to get in character. Wait, hold on. How the hell I sign out on Industry Shit? I forgot. It's been 4 months.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, here it is. For Brother Silencer, for Brother Twister, and for all the film things for Sister Vision, it's your man Shane Kid Walker. I'm here to tell y'all, just like Dusty told us, and congratulations to the new undisputed WWE champion, my man Cody Rhodes. But as his father told us, get a dream, hold on to it, and shoot for the sky. Industry Shakedown, we'll see y'all live on PSF April 22nd. That is a Monday night, 9 p.m. Central Time. Be there, be square. No matter of fact, fuck that. Don't meet us there. Beat us there. We out.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye now.
Special thanks to Shane Kid Walker, Brandon BZ Corbin, Chris KB Brown, and Caitlin Fitzpatrick. This episode was recorded on April 13th, 2024.